Do your shots look like this? And this? And this? Yuck! Well, with a one-time purchase of $17.76, you too can have clean log footage, lickety-split. Hey, what you do? You don't need to pay for anything. You just need to hit subscribe to unlock all this information. Did you do it? Okay, now let's go through why your log footage looks like shit. First of all, what even is log? Log is a picture profile that most cameras have nowadays, and what it does is it unlocks all of your camera's potential. It allows your camera to have more dynamic range so you can see further into the highlights and into the shadows, which then brings it closer to what our eyes see. Our eyes have a dynamic range from 18 to 20 stops. The best cameras in the world, which cost like tens of thousands of dollars, can only really touch 17-ish, maybe a little bit higher stops of dynamic range. A more reasonably priced camera like my LUMIX S5 Mark II or various Sonys, Nikon, Canons, whatever, they all have dynamic ranges around 14 to 15 stops. Log unlocks more flexibility in your camera sensor and allows you as the creative to have more creative freedom because you can do more with color grading because you have way more information packed into the shot and you have a way more evenly exposed image compared to if you had to pick between exposure for the highlights or exposure for the shadows. With log, you can do it all. See, if we were to forego log, it's very easy to either have an over or underexposed image. To better understand this, let's just go with a direct comparison. Here's a shot that is filmed without log. This is just no picture profile, straight out of camera, nothing has been done to it in post. And now here's that same shot, but filmed in log and then color corrected to Rec 709, so it looks like the same color space as the non-log shot. Actually, why don't we just do this for like a whole range of shots? Well, as you can see here, our client's using the lovely Denoisifier 5000 from our amazing Denoisifier Labs & Co. And with a small payment of $99.95, $99.95, you too can have beautiful, clean, oh my, get out of here, dude. So it's pretty clear here that these daytime shots show that log gives you a lot more flexibility and dynamic range, allowing you to see way further into the sky where it's nice and bright, but still being able to see your subject and like the darker areas of the image too and all the details that are there. What is a common thing that can ruin a shot for filmmakers? That's right, bad acting, a whiny voice, poor comedy, not being monetized on YouTube yet? No, okay. Noise. Noise can ruin a shot for... Camera noise is a surefire way to make any shot look very amateurish. And whilst in some cases it's maybe stylistic, noise nonetheless is a problem that most filmmakers want to avoid. There is one really frustrating thing when it comes to filming with log, and that is even though it may look correctly exposed on your monitor and the waveforms look pretty even, you still have noise present in the shot when you bring it into your editor. I've been there, it's really frustrating. So how do we combat this? Log is amazing, but it has one asterisk in its terms and conditions that you need to be aware of when filming with it, and that is called exposing to the right. It's a new learning curve that young filmmakers have to learn, but it is crucial for exposing your log shots correctly and having a noiseless image. Normally our waveforms look like this. nice and even throughout the entire shot. Good range in the shadows, mids, and highlights. But if you're experiencing noise in the shadows of your shots, or you're shooting in a less than ideal, not so bright situation, then you'll want to raise your exposure and expose to the right, essentially exposing for your shadows, bringing the shadows towards the mid-tone range so they have a clean noise bed. Now you may be thinking, but won't this overexpose my highlights? And if we weren't filming in log, you'd be right, you would. But because of the flexibility and extra dynamic range we get with a log picture profile, you can actually bring down those highlights in post and recover a lot of information that may have appeared to have been lost. Now exposing to the right is mainly for when you're shooting at night or in darker situations, when you don't have enough light to properly expose your image. This is where it's useful. If you're shooting daytime, midday, bright interiors, or whatever it is, generally you'll be fine having a more balanced waveform and exposing more or less as normal. Filming in low light has its challenges, and we've already discussed one of them, but log makes that harder, and of course I'm talking about noise.
That's right, and with one easy payment.
And that should be the last of him. As I was saying, we've discussed about exposing to the right to help combat noise in the shadows, and that's something that's very typical when shooting in low light with a log picture profile. But what about another way? What if we remove the problem altogether by removing log? What we're looking for here is to see how well we're able to remove noise from the shot by not using log. If we shoot with the picture profile turned off, in other words, in Rec 709, how well does it hold up with color grading and noise in comparison to something that is shot in log, then color corrected and graded? We can see here that whilst not using log, having no picture profile turned on does help a bit to not have any noise, and we are actually getting a pretty good image here because we don't actually need the dynamic range boost we get with log. Since it's so dark, we're not trying to see any further into the highlights or shadows. We do still get some pretty clean shots here with log turned on because we're exposing properly. I think it's a pretty mixed bag, but personally, I appreciate the flexibility of log, and I like to have it as a safety net even when shooting in low light. Although I have to admit, the non-log shots do look totally fine to me as well. The main reason your log shots aren't coming out how you want them is more than likely down to how you're exposing your shots. Utilize the fact that you can bring back your highlights if they're a little bit hot, and give your shadows more room to breathe. Make sure to expose for your shadows as much as possible, especially if you're in a low light situation. Bring them over to the right to give them a better chance of having much less noise. And lastly, don't be so afraid of noise. Noise is not the end of the world, and to some degree, it's expected in filmmaking, especially if it's like a dark situation. A little bit of noise can even be somewhat cinematic. All we want to make sure of is that we don't have too much noise.
Hello? Is anybody? Oh my God, hello. Okay, if you're wanting to make your footage more cinematic, I'd recommend checking out my show after this one. It's coming on, oh my God, it's going black. Hello? Hello?